It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Oh yeah, I'm here. It's showtime. Don't play around with it. You know what time it is. 18 days until Election Day ends. Because Election Day is here. It's like Groundhog Day. You're watching the Geno Jones Show now. If you're watching me live Friday about a little after 6:30. So normally my normal start times are Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 in Chicago, 3:30 p.m. live in Los Angeles. Tell everybody, as Nelly would say, subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. Subscribe and share, screen grab, rip some of the video and make it go viral. And if you don't know how to do it, ask your kids or your grandkids or your niece and nephew. They'll show you how to do it. It's real simple. Well, it'll be simple for them. So tell everybody to subscribe to this channel, to share this show, every episode, share it on every platform that you are a fan of, that you follow, all the people that follow you and your fans and family on your social media pages. Share it, screen grab, rip some of the video, make it go viral. Like, binge watch all my back episodes, make it a Geno Jones Show binge watch weekend. And please, or let me do my James Brown impersonation. Please, 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 please. I need everybody. Please leave your comments in the comment section. And if you're watching me live right now, and I know you are, for those who are watching me live right now, Friday evening, or we call it Friday, here on the Geno Jones Show. Like, yay, it's Friday, so it's Friday. Let the weekend begin. Speaking of the weekend, it's a big weekend. So listen, early voting is already here in many states. Illinois, early voting has already started. Pennsylvania, early voting has already started. North Carolina, early voting has already started. Arizona, early voting has already started. Mississippi, Arizona and Mississippi, early voting has already started. Shout out to our neighbors to the west next door, Georgia. Shout out to the ATL, Georgia. Early voting began Monday, and Georgia, y'all stood up. The first day of early voting on Monday. You know how many people voted? 382,000. Nearly a 500,000, nearly 400,000 people. The first day alone. Second day, I believe they had over 200,000. So they had like close to, I think now, I just heard some news. I got an update to where I believe as of today, at least slightly over 1 million people in the ATL and all of Georgia, 1 million Georgians, they have already early voted. So Monday, guess what? Shout out to South Carolina, where I am doing the Geno Jones Show live. We do it live every day here in the Charleston, South Carolina metro area. Beautiful city. Oh my God, it's one of the greatest cities in the world, especially to come. And, people come from all over the world, have a vacation, great food, trust me, and culture. But Monday, South Carolina, I'm going to need you to stand up. Let me say that again. I don't know if you heard me. I need you to please listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth and read my lips, because they are big enough. I'm telling you, please. South Carolina, stand up, because early voting begins this Monday coming up, October 21st. South Carolina, stand up, and show out. If Georgia can do 382,000 early voters on the first day, we got to be good for it. What, 500,000? I'm just saying. And for those to help me out with this call for action, I am expecting South Carolina State Representative, a friend and family of the Geno Jones Show, Wendell Gilliard. But right now, as a matter of fact, she's on camera. Former Charleston County Councilwoman, social justice warrior, and just an all-around incredible woman, Anna Johnson. Welcome to the show. Hello, Ms. Johnson. Thank you for joining.
Hi there. Thank you for having me.
Well, listen, it is a Friday, as we call it on the show, Friday evening, and I appreciate it because, listen, it's Friday. You may be going out having dinner, whatever, or just relaxing, but thank you for joining and helping me with this call for action. Once again, For those who live in South Carolina, early vote. Oh, shout out to Michigan too. I believe Michigan early voting begins this weekend, if it didn't already begin. So virtually, I think over 60% of the states have some form of early voting, either by mail or in person, or by mail and in person. So, South Carolina, it is our time to shine. Monday, October 22nd, the first day to early vote up to November 2nd. Now, like we said, shout out to Georgia, Miss Johnson. They really stood up. 382,000 early voters on the first day for the week up to this, as of last check, about 30 minutes ago. I believe over 1 million people in Georgia have early voted. So listen, South Carolina, I know we always show up and show out and stand up. So if Georgia can do 382,000, Miss Johnson, I am pretty confident that South Carolina can definitely at least do that and top that.
Well, I agree with you. I'm certainly working really hard to help that happen. And I know there have been some people already getting their absentee ballots out and looking forward to the early voting on the 21st, Monday.
So there is so many, there's so many issues at hand, Ms. Johnson, but the way I'm looking at it, and I've been telling my viewers, and you've seen a couple of the shows, it's beyond policy, even though for women in America, it's a very precarious time, unfortunately. Our daughters and granddaughters and nieces have fewer rights than you've had most of your life. And people like my mother, reproductive freedoms have been taken away in virtually at least over 20 states, including all the states that were a part of the original Confederacy, including South Carolina, with 6-week abortion bans. That's caused many young women, many women, period, to lose their life needlessly, including women who were desperately trying to have children, and just unfortunately they had complications and repercussions. I'm sure you've heard the story. There's been so much talk about it. A beautiful young woman, African-American young lady, was only 28. She left a 6-year-old son, Anna Thurman, Anna Nicole Thurman. So she was, something happened with her pregnancy. There was a complication. So she actually had to travel out of Georgia through South Carolina, because unfortunately South Carolina has a 6-week abortion ban, into North Carolina. She got a procedure, but something went wrong. She got back home to Georgia, and the doctors were afraid to treat her because they were afraid of going to jail. So this woman got deathly sick, sepsis, blood poisoning, lost so much blood, 20 hours. After 20 hours, doctors finally decided to try to do something, and it was too late, and this young woman, who should still be with us. As a matter of fact, Vice President Kamala Harris, in a town hall, spoke to her parents, her mother, and her sisters. Amber Nicole Thurman. Yes, Amber Nicole Thurman. Say her name and say it out loud and repeat it, everybody that's watching me. Because Amber Nicole Thurman could be your daughter. It could be
Amber Nicole, yes.
Yep, she could be your sister. She could be your niece. She could be your wife. Don't play with this thing. Understand that. So it's a choice, Miss Johnson. I've been saying it is a choice between our freedom and our oppression. It's that simple. It is that simple. Now I'll let you just give us your perspective.
Well, first, my heart goes out to Amber Nicole's family, for the loss that they have incurred needlessly, to have this to happen. This and to think that this time of day, women are still fighting for their rights, the rights, simple rights of her body. Isn't that something?
I can't understand it, Ms. Johnson. I swear to you, I cannot.
So here we are trying to decide on the presidency, who should represent us, to at least look at what our rights are that they want to support for us.
Yes.
And Vice President Harris is that girl, that woman is something. She's a go-getter.
Yes, she is.
She is a big fighter, and she's going to fight like hell for us.
Yes, she is. She's already doing that.
Yes, she is. And so I really encourage all of our women, especially, to really get out and vote and get everybody in the house. All of your children, your niece, nephew, whoever's in the house. Because this is one time we're going to take control. Make sure that everybody is registered and have a plan of action to go and vote. We don't want to guess this. We want to check the record, check their card to make sure they have a valid card. And I know I talked to my son last night. He's from Atlanta. And he said, well, Mom, I'm going to vote. And I vote every time because I have to ask him about that. And you know what he said? Well, no, I said first, where's your card? Send me a copy of your card. And he said, well, come on, Mom. I don't have to send a card. I use my driver's license. I said, that's okay. I want to see the doggone card. Send me a picture of the card itself. People can tell you that they are registered, and they're probably not.
That's true. I love that.
My uncles told me he was registered, and I said, well, pull out your card now. Let me see your card. You know what he did? He pulled out a card, but it didn't have a picture on it. And I said, well, in South Carolina, you got to have a picture on your current voter registration card. So this card is not right. You haven't been voting. You need to go and get your card renewed. So I'm just saying, I want the sister to really get down on people in their household and the other friends, extended friends and family, and make sure that they are working hard to help us, because we cook, we clean, and we care for them. And we want them to care for us.
And speaking, if I can, just speaking to not just young men, but men of all ages. And first of all, let me dispel the nonsense and the distraction and misinformation that so many, including the cult, the MAGA cult, and the MAGA cult supporters and the MAGA cult media, that try to pit black men against black women and black women against black men, and like, well, black men are not going to support Vice President Kamala Harris, and Donald Trump, on this show we refer to him as Owen Chitler, is getting a lot of black men support. First of all, here are the facts and the numbers. The last election that dude ran in got 12% of the African American male vote. 86% of black men voted for freedom and protecting democracy in 2020 when they voted for President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. So let's dispel that. And all the legitimate polls that I've seen, because there are a lot of junk polls out there, all the legitimate polls I've seen, roughly 80, if I had to round a number off, Ms. Johnson, around 85% of black men are voting for Vice President Kamala Harris. So let's dispel that. Saying we know black women are going to be 10 toes down. So my concern and my question is to some of my Hispanic brothers and sisters, and to my white brothers and sisters, especially to my white sisters, because in the last two elections, I saw an NBC exit poll election day where I think 2016, 52 to 53%, I think it was 52% voted for the man I refer to on my show is Owen Chitler. And then Ms. Johnson, at 55% of white women, after knowing and after losing with the Supreme Court justices striking down Roe and everything, or threatening to, because the three Supreme Court justices who were instrumental in repealing Roe versus Wade, allowing states to pass these abortion bans, in spite of that, 55% of white women voted against their own interests. Not to mention white men, because unless you are make over $100 million, or really a billionaire, this tax cut and tax break that dude gave didn't benefit you. People are voting against their own economic interests. They're voting against their own interests in terms of their health. When you've got a man that said that he is going to basically get rid of Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act, so that could be close to 100 million people that's going to lose their insurance like that. And a lot of those people will not be able to get insurance because if you have any kind of pre-existing condition, the insurance companies will be able to go back to the days that they used to, where if you had a hangnail or allergies, that was a pre-existing condition. And if you were a woman, unfortunately, you could, just to go to show you how sexist and misogynist the insurance industry was, being a woman, just being a woman, no allergy, no asthma, no acid reflux, nothing. If you were a woman, and you know this better than I do, Ms. Johnson, women were considered by the insurance, healthcare, the health insurance industry. They were considered like that was a pre-existing condition because they're like, well, women can get pregnant, so they are, which is the most misogynistic, sexist thing I could imagine. And we could, if we drop the ball here, Ms. Johnson, we can go, we will, because this person has told us that he is going to get rid of Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act. And that's going to allow these insurance companies, these healthcare insurance companies, to go back and to make it virtually impossible for anybody who has any kind of pre-existing condition to get health insurance, and to have a national abortion ban, and to send the U.S. military, the Marines and the Navy, or the Marines and National Guard and the Army into cities, especially cities with a predominant African-American population, heavily black populations like Chicago. And Charleston and North Charleston would be on that list too. Don't think that they won't now. And if there's any kind of peaceful protest, this person has said that he would send in the military.
I know, I heard all of that.
To stop these peaceful protests, and who will bring back stop and frisk. So to my brothers out there, young brothers, not so young brothers, beware, because this man has already told you that he would sick the police on you, and then he said he wanted to call for a day of violence to really stop the crime. There's so much crime. So I just want to have one day where the, not the police, because remember he said in Project 2025, there's a part in there that says that he wants to militarize local police. Mm-hmm. That means forget North Charleston and Charleston Police Department. He's going to send in the Marines and the Army Rangers and the National Guard to police our cities and their own citizens, and allow them to
fighting from it within.
Yes, yeah, right. That's the term, the same term that Adolf Hitler, the original Hitler, used in the 30s in Europe against the European Jews and Gypsies and those who he saw as the enemy from within. And now this person has brought this language back. What did Mother Maya Angelou tell us, Miss Johnson? When a person shows you, and then they tell you who they are, believe them. And believe them the first time. And he done told us a bunch of times what he plans to do. So I'll get your take there.
Well, this is not somebody that should be anywhere near the White House. Okay, not anywhere near. Sounds like, a lunatic. All of the things that I'm hearing that he says. But for us, if you have heard how he's against the health care,
yes, ma'am.
He's against the military. No, you want to misuse the military against the citizens. Just one or two things.
But he's called let me just to jump in, Ms. Johnson. But at the same time, that same military that he wants to use against citizens, especially citizens that look like you and me, he's called that same military, he's called them losers and suckers.
Well, All I can say is we have got to fight, fight, fight. Vote, vote, vote. That's what we have to do. This is not any kind of a guessing game here. I heard some people saying that they need to find out a little bit more about who the Vice President Harris is and all that. You have heard all of this crazy nonsense about someone else that wants to be the president. Is that what you really want?
That wants to be a
Maybe
dictator.
that?
Who said he would be a dictator,
A dictator
on day one.
Okay. This is a democracy that we live in, and we better get our act together. This is the only country that we know. This is a democracy, not a dictatorship. So I say, hey, everybody that you can talk to encourage that they better get themselves together and go to the polls. That's what we need to do. And no, I'm not going to have anybody dictating to me what I need to do about my body. Okay.
I love it. Please say that
Nobody.
part. Yes, ma'am. Please say that part. So, and I want to thank you. So I am issuing on today's show on Friday, October 18th, I am issuing a call to action to America, but I am specifically issuing a call to action for South Carolina, where the Geno Jones Show is done live 5 days a week, right here in the beautiful city of the Charleston, South Carolina metro area, Charleston, north of Charleston metro area. My call to action is to tell everybody you know, take everybody, all right? Look, if you gotta grab your son or your daughter, your grandkids, because they're gonna want the car this weekend. Can I use the car? Can I have some money? Can you give me some money to put some gas in the car? And then when you do that, can I take the car? I want to go out with my friends, or take my girlfriend out, or my boyfriend out, or go to the movie, or go to dinner, or when you go to the hair salon, or all the brothers in the barbershop and the sisters taking their sons to get their haircuts, or you in the hair salons, ladies, or the nail salons, or Sunday when you go to church, after church, before you go have that breakfast. I need you to have a plan, like Miss Johnson said. Have a plan. Get on the phone. Get on the phone like you would gossiping with your girlfriends or your dude friends. You're talking about whatever. So what we need to be not just gossiping, but what we need to be talking about is coming up with a plan of action to make a stand. Because I know South Carolina is what they call a red state, where the state, they solidly supported Mr. Orange Hitler. But Miss Johnson, I want South Carolina to send a message. Even if we don't,
I agree.
Even if we don't go blue, but I want us to show up. I want us to show up in numbers so large that it scares the you know what out of them. We're like, oh my God, these people, they are for real. Because we are for real. Because it is time. And we've got the numbers here in South Carolina. We got the numbers to change the course and the trajectory of the political life, and to make life better for so many people. We are in a state, Miss Johnson, you know better than I don't even have to tell you, a governor that refused to allow federal funds
Medicare
to feed babies this summer. Who does that? You would turn down money that's not going to cost us a penny. Money that could be used so children who normally won't have lunch because school's out, they won't be getting school lunch. You denied those babies an opportunity to eat. We are in a state where there's a 6-week abortion ban, and right now somebody could be watching who has a woman like Amber Nicole Thurman. It could be your daughter, your granddaughter, your niece. It could be your wife. It could be your sister. So let's send a strong message. Let's show up. Let's show out. Let's stand up and send a message, not just to the White House, but let's send a message to the State House and let them know. What did Vice President say? We are not going back.
We are not going back. And I got my red dress on to show you.
I see.
I'm ready to fight.
I love it.
I'm ready to fight.
We are not going back. So
we are not going back.
We encourage, it is a call to action. So if you're watching this live or when it's after it's live, the recorded version, please copy and paste, chop up some of this, screen grab, rip some of the video. But it is a call to action, South Carolina. Monday, early voting begins Monday. Georgia had 382,000 on their first day of early voting. I'm speaking it into existence. Name it and claim it. Miss Johnson, my grandmother used to tell me, she would say, Jeannie, name it and claim it. You got to speak it into existence.
That's right. You have to speak it, and we need to at least get 400,000.
I am with you. So we can do it. Everybody that's watching, and this applies to like all the states across America, but a specific call to South Carolina where the show is done live here in South Carolina, because Monday is our day. Georgia had their day. They stood up, they showed out, and they showed up. So South Carolina, let's stand up, let's show up, and let's show out. Let's show the world and everybody and the State House, listen, we're not going back, and we're coming. We're coming. So next summer, babies will be able to have lunches over the summer. The same school lunches that they would get during school, when school is in. We want to make sure that those babies are able to eat over the summer too. And we want to make sure that the women of South Carolina get their reproductive rights restored, and so many other things. So let's do it. Come on, South Carolina, stand up. I know you can.
Stand up. Be ready to go. Fired up and ready to go.
That's right. Miss Johnson, we are the state that had the very first African-American senators way back in the Reconstruction era.
That's right.
Back right after Reconstruction. Now think about this, and I want to close with this number. I just want to put this in perspective. So just to put something on your mind, everybody that's watching me, do you realize that like the first election that happened after the Civil War, right at the beginning of Reconstruction, that was around in the 1870s, the turnout for black people, the African American turnout was 80%, Miss Johnson.
80%. All right.
80%.
So we can do it.
Now, we haven't seen that number. The closest we have seen to that number in terms of African American turnout was in 2012. Like 67% of the eligible African American voters turned out to vote for President Obama the second time. So, and I think about this, in the 1870s, Miss Johnson, in states like South Carolina and all these southern states, our ancestors were just coming out of slavery, still didn't have any opportunities. For many of them, weren't allowed to read. It was illegal. You could go to jail. They would kill people if you were teaching our enslaved ancestors to read. And in spite of that, Miss Johnson, 80% of them, with all the obstacles they had to go through, in the 1870s, 80% of our ancestors showed up to vote.
You know why? Because they were determined to make it. They were determined because they came from nothing, and all they could do is look forward. And that's what we need to continue to do right now. Look forward to better days.
I love it. And on that note, Ms. Johnson, before you leave, speaking of turning out, there's going to be a Get Out the Vote rally next Saturday here in the Charleston, South Carolina metro area. You're going to be a featured speaker, and everybody, as you see, that this sister is dynamic. She's got just a dynamic speaker, beautiful spirit. So please, if you don't mind, give us some more details about the Get Out the Vote rally to support Vice President Kamala Harris.
So we're going to be supporting our sister, Vice President Kamala Harris, on October the 26th at the ILA Hall on Morrison Drive. And that's going to be at 3 p.m. in Charleston. So we're looking for each and every one to come out and, wear you red, wear you blue, be ready to fight.
I love it. And if you haven't voted, but we want everybody to show up on Monday, October 21st. But if not, next Saturday, we're going to get you fired up. And I'm sure that Ms. Johnson and everybody, they're going to have not just plans, they're going to be organized and mobilized and strategized so you can make sure that you go and turn up and turn out and make sure you vote, because early voting will go from October 21st through November 2nd. So show up on Monday, but if for whatever reason you can't show up on Monday or Tuesday or whatever day, next Saturday we want to see you at the International Longshoremen's Association Hall, and we're going to make sure that we get you fired up, ready to go and vote, and take a whole bunch of folks with you. So get these party buses, churches, put these church buses to good use, whatever kind of buses and vans and big SUVs and Yukons and Uber and Lyft and ride share, whatever kind of little transportation company you have, let's put all of this to good use. Those in our community who don't have transportation or have issues with mobility, are elderly, those who are maybe disabled or just don't have the money, we're going to make sure we're going to be our brothers and sisters' keeper. Anna Johnson, Miss Johnson, may God continue to bless and have favor on you. Thank you so much. I just love your energy and your spirit. You got me fired up and ready to go. And we'll see you next Saturday at the International Longshoremen's Association Hall, the Get Out the Vote rally for Vice President Kamala Harris.
All right. Thank you so much. This is a commissioned woman, and I'm ready to go.
I love her. She said, this is a commissioned woman, and I am ready to go. Thank you, Miss Johnson. Oh, wow. I love it. Thank you again. Just such a beautiful spirit. Hey, listen, thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you, and especially you, God. Most of all, thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. in Chicago, 3:30 p.m. live in Los Angeles, and everybody on the West Coast. Subscribe, share, screen grab, like, and binge watch all my back episodes. Please leave your comments in the comment section. Make it a Geno Jones Show binge watch weekend. Shout out to Mr. Markel. I'll say Arkell. Shout out to Markel Bailey, the official barber and his stylist for the Geno Jones Show. Congratulations, Designer Cuts. He is the CEO of Designer Cuts. Their 1-year anniversary. So, in about 2 weeks? Happy birthday, happy first birthday to Designer Cuts. In a couple of weeks, they got a big event, I think it was in November. Yeah, it's the day before Allie's birthday, November 1st. Here in the Charleston, South Carolina Metro. We'll tell you more about that. Anyway, check out Markel Bailey and Designer Cuts, the official barber and hairstylist for this show. Kel B Cutting Up, KELBECUTTINUP. Allie Jones, she is the official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show. Check out her and her Lexi Jones collection on Instagram, on IG, LX.NCL_, that little dash at the end of that second L. L like Lexi, X like extra, dot, N like Nanette, C like Charlie, L like Lexi _. And shout out to Mr. Bruce Gage, also wardrobe consultant and stylist for the show. Check him out on Instagram, on IG. His Mario Uomo line and collection, Mario Uomo. So Uomo's an Italian surname. So M-A, just type in the search little magnifying glass icon, Mario, M-A-R-I-O, Uomo. It's got the W sound like the W sound, but it's actually spelled U like umbrella, U-O like Oprah, M like Mary, O, U-O-M-O, Mario Uomo. And also Flyball. The Flyball collection, check that out also, all that at Bruce. You can type in Bruce Gage, but if you type in Mario Uomo, U-O-M-O, or Flyball, it will take you to his Instagram page. Thank you for watching live, everybody. Have a great weekend. So we'll see you Monday. Once again, it is a call to action. So I need you to spread the word. That needs to be the conversation all week long, all weekend long, all across America, but specifically here in the state of South Carolina. Stand up. Early voting begins Monday, this Monday, October 21st. South Carolina, stand up, and show out. And let's send a message. Let's shock the world. Georgia had 382,000 early voters day one. I say, Miss Johnson said she want to go for 400. I say, let's go for 500,000. Let's go for 500 because we can do it. Name it and claim it. Speak it into existence. and it shall come to pass. I love you. We'll see you live Monday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Now go back and binge watch all of this week's episodes. They have been fire. As a matter of fact, make it a Geno Jones Show binge watch weekend for this week's shows. Some dynamite monologues. My monologues have been fire. My guests have been great, just like Miss Anna Johnson here, former Charleston County Councilwoman. Thank you again for coming on the show. Thank you for watching, everybody. I love you. Have a great weekend. Mother, I love you. I'll talk to you soon. And I'll see you live Monday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. But you'll see me right here on the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel because you're going to be binge watching all weekend.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.